If it was up to me, I would have a pasta salad in my fridge at all times during the summer. I like to make them in all different kinds of ways, but what I've really been making a lot recently is this colorful Greek-inspired pasta salad. It is made with this creamy cucumber and yogurt sauce that's packed with lemon, garlic, and fresh herbs. And we're also going to be making some Greek marinated tofu to go along with it. This is going to make it all a super nice complete meal. Let's get started. We're gonna start off by cooking our pasta. I'm using a penne pasta today. Whenever you cook your pasta, be sure to heavily salt your water. You really wanna make sure that the pasta is really flavorful. That is one key to a really good pasta salad, is to make sure the pasta on its own actually tastes good. For pasta salads, I prefer the pasta to be cooked all the way through. I love al dente pasta, but in my opinion, I think that pasta that is all the way cooked is better for pasta salad. Once you're done cooking your pasta, give it a nice drain and rinse with cold water. If you don't rinse it in cold water, it's going to slightly continue to cook, which could lead to a mushy pasta salad, which we do not want. And if your pasta is going to be sitting for a while until your sauce is ready, be sure to drizzle with a little bit of olive oil so it doesn't stick. Moving on to our marinated tofu, we're going to go ahead and do this so it can be marinating in the fridge while we make the rest of our pasta salad. So to a small bowl, you're going to add some olive oil, the juice of 1 lemon, 1 large clove of garlic which has been finely minced or pressed, Dijon mustard to give it a nice tanginess, along with some thyme, salt, and a little bit of water to thin it all out. Now we just give it a nice whisk. The reason that I like adding tofu to this is, even for side dishes, I always like to find ways that I can add some protein to them and make them complete meals. I really like to keep stuff like this in the fridge that I can eat throughout the week. That can be something good on the side, or also as something that I can eat for lunch. For me, that's like the perfect combination. First, with the tofu, we are going to press all of the water out of it. Whenever you buy tofu, it is packed full of water, and what we need to do is to squeeze all of that water out so that it has the ability to absorb all of the flavorful marinade that we just made. What I like to do is cut the tofu block in half and wrap it with a clean kitchen towel and just simply press the moisture out with your hands. You're gonna feel the water come out on the towel. Since we cut it in half, it's just gonna really allow us to get a lot of that moisture out. There are a lot of different ways to press tofu. I just always do it this way because I find that it's really quick and it doesn't require any pre-planning, and it's really effective. So this is what I do almost every time. Now, to mix the marinade with the tofu, you'll need some kind of flat-bottomed container or tray. Really doesn't matter what you use as long as you can mix both things together in there. Then I give the marinade a quick whisk just to make sure it's all mixed together. Then I pour just a little bit to cover the base of the surface of the container. And now we just add all of the tofu pieces in there. Now we're just gonna pour the rest of the marinade on top. I like to use a flat spatula just to kind of mix it all together and make sure that they are all well coated without stirring it too much so that the tofu doesn't fall apart. Whoopsie, whoa. Tofu on the loose. Now we're going to cover this and let it sit in the fridge. It's really ideal if you can at least let it sit for 2 hours, but it's always going to be better the next day. And I like to stir it every so often just to make sure that all parts of the tofu are getting nice and coated. Now on to the fun part. We are going to make our creamy tzatziki sauce. Tzatziki sauce is a Greek sauce that can also be a dip. And I made a variation of this, which I think goes really well with pasta salad. So this one is going to be a little bit more tangy, a little bit more flavorful on its own, so that whenever we mix it in with the pasta, it's really going to have a big, nice flavor and just come together really well. So we're gonna start off by grating 1 cucumber. You don't have to worry about peeling it. Just make sure that whenever you grate it, to use the side of the grater that has the larger holes. Ow, whoopsie. Oh, I broke my nail. Broke my nail. Stupid grater. Ruining all the good things in life. So cucumber as a vegetable is mainly water. So what we're going to do to make the cucumber more flavorful is we're actually going to press all of the water out, just like we did with the tofu. So I like taking a clean kitchen towel and placing the cucumber inside and just gently squeezing it, and you'll see that so much water comes out. This way our sauce is not going to get watered down and our cucumber is going to taste, it's going to taste more cucumbery. And as you can see, we are left with dry cucumber. Yay! So for the base of this sauce, I'm going to use a soy Greek style yogurt. The benefit of a Greek style yogurt for this sauce is it is going to be a little bit more thick and creamy, but if you can't find that, just use a regular natural plant-based yogurt. Just make sure that it doesn't have any extra sugars and that is not sweet, because that really wouldn't go with the flavor profile that we're looking for. I like to add this to a larger bowl to mix all of the ingredients together. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the cucumber to the yogurt. And we're going to add the juice of 2 lemons, but before you do that, be sure to zest one of your lemons completely. This is going to really add an additional nice tangy flavor. Now we're going to add 2 large cloves of garlic. I usually am a little hesitant to use too much raw garlic, but with this one, it really doesn't taste overpowering. It really fits in well with the sauce, and it just gives it a lot of flavor. These should be pressed or finely minced. Now we're just gonna add in some olive oil, good quality if you have it. Now we're just gonna give this a nice stir. I almost forgot a very important part. We forgot to add the herbs. In tzatziki sauce, it's very typical to add either fresh dill or mint or both, and I like to add both because I think both of them have a really nice flavor, which add a lot to the sauce. And if you don't have fresh herbs, you could just add dried. You guys, I have a situation with my mint plant. If you watched my last video on my potato salad, I was talking about how I have started to grow my own herbs and how I'm so proud of myself. But my mint plant is like really struggling out there, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was getting too much sun, but I kind of put it in the shade and now I'm giving it more water, but it's still like, it's dying. It's not thriving. So if there are any herb experts out there, I would really like some advice on how to revive my mint. Please drop me a comment below. Okay, now we'll stir it all together. Now for the other ingredients that we're going to put in our salad, we are going to add some cherry tomatoes. I'm just going to have these. We're also going to cut up a cucumber. I like leaving the skin on again and cutting them into half moons. You could also cut these things in smaller pieces. I just kind of like the bigger, chunkier vegetables. Before assembling the salad, we're gonna come back to our tofu. So you're going to pour some olive oil in the bottom of a nonstick skillet, and you're gonna wanna let that preheat on a medium-high heat. It's really important that you do let that oil preheat. That way the tofu is not going to stick to the bottom of the pan, and it's going to cook properly in the oil and really brown nicely. Then you're going to add the tofu and let it cook for just a few minutes on each side to allow all sides to get nice and browned. All right, so our tofu is done and it browned up super nicely. One key to cooking it is to really let it cook on one side for like a few minutes and then flip. If you're flipping the whole time, it's not gonna brown nicely. And that brownness, that caramelization is really where all the flavor lies. So you'll just need to do that for probably about 5 or max 10 minutes until most of the sides are nice and brown. All right, now for the exciting part, we're gonna put it all together. So first, to a large bowl, we're going to add our noodles, which we cooked earlier. Then first, I like adding the tzatziki sauce. And just give it a stir. Now we're going to add our cherry tomatoes, cucumber, along with some black olives. And lastly, our marinated tofu. Something about when a dish is colorful, I don't know, it feels like it tastes better. And at this point, I am going to add some additional salt. Whenever I've made this in the past, I've just realized it needs like a touch of salt whenever everything is all together. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more salt now. Let's see. This can be a very, very perfect side dish, and it can also be great if you want to just keep it in the fridge and eat it whenever you're hungry. You can eat it for lunch or dinner in the summer. It's currently one of my faves, and I hope you really enjoy it. So if you have made it all the way to here, I would really appreciate it if you just drop me a comment in the comment section below telling me who you are and where you're from. I feel like I make these videos, but I don't even really know who they're for, and I would really like to get to know you guys. So drop me a comment below, and I will see you in the next one.